Serious, what is an urban legend that keeps you up at night? I recently reread the Russian sleep experiment. But it's a little different than I remember. The original version I read, it could have been an alternate version. I don't know, ended with the final living subject losing all sight, hearing, touch and turning mute. Right before dying, he says, "I have spoken with God. And he has abandoned us." Stuck with me ever since. The Wendigo or skinwalkers. I'm in a rural area and work third shift. Sometimes the shadows move and shift and it really creeps you out. Much of where I work is a slow former Native American territory, Potawatomi, and sometimes you see someone out at night and you think to yourself, well, this is how I die. When I lived in the southeastern USA, I learned of Goat Man and that terrified me. Now I'm just afraid of robbers and murderers. Slit-mouthed woman. I may not be 100% correct, but here is how I remember it. In the area we live in, we have an urban legend called the Dungard Hooper. It's about a kid who ran away from home and ended up starving to death, extremely painfully. In the hours before his death, it is said he wailed in pain in a forest and no one came to his aid. Legend has it, when the wind blows in the trees, and it makes a moaning wail, it is the sound of the boy dying of hunger. That keeps me up, since I hate the idea of starving to death. But hey, it's a pretty cool legend for New Brunswick, Canada. Anytime I read skinwalker stories, it's a long night. Slightly off topic, but Indonesia has some downright terrifying folklore. From ghost women who attack men out of revenge to teleporting ghosts wrapped in cloths. It freaking keeps me up at night. I can't remember her name, but she's a Japanese ghost that stalks bad fathers/husbands and kills them. The legend goes that one evening a husband got home in a spooky mood, ignoring his kids, yelling at his wife, and when the wife tells him off for being an ass, he slaps her and runs off to get a drink. He drinks till midnight, talking speep about his family all the while. The pub closes, and he starts wobbling home, grumbling to himself. He then notices a woman's silhouette in the distance, beyond the fog, and when he blinks, she appears about 5 meters away from him. Her face is all torn up and droopy, stitched together, and as the man screams as stumbling on the ground, she asks him, "Am I beautiful?" And he answers, "Yes." While looking down, she then asks, "Truly?" The man replies, "Yes, truly." In one moment she strikes him down, and leaves his warm corpse on display. I forgot a bit of the story, and improvised a little bit, but you still get the idea. This sounds almost like the slit-mouthed women, but like better, cause the ghost isn't killing innocent children. The Mothman. Not that I'm scared of it, but I so badly wanna find it for myself. I have an unhealthy obsession with the Mothman. It's 3:54 am, time to do an all-nighter. D. Russian sleep experiment. Bloody Mary. The bubuk is terrifying. I think it's a Czech urban legend of a scarecrow-looking thing, and it makes baby noises to lure you towards it, and then it snatches you up and puts you in the sack it carries on its back to eat later. Not really an urban legend, but used to keep me up at night anyway. Long horse. Smile dog. Toe monster. I honestly don't remember her name. I only remember the fact that she was about, I think, 8 feet tall. If someone remembers her name, please let me know. I'm have a fear of large things, and as a fairly short person that would make me scared of a lot of things. I also have a fear of being touched. The thing that makes me confused is that I am not afraid of heights but am afraid of big things. I am also afraid of the fact that if I go anywhere alone I can be caught. Obviously none of this is proven to be true, but it still scares me to this day. Oh, we're talking about Hakashakusama, I think. That one's creepy AF. You are correct. She is creepy ASF and still gives me anxiety, and I am FPPABIJ 15. I heard about it when I was 8. I have bad anxiety, so I guess that doesn't help much. The hash slinging slasher. The brash singing crasher. The clash clinging flasher. Teak Teak. A tragic story with pungent horror. They say once you know her story, she comes for you. Some nights I hear a gentle tapping and wonder if my time has come. But so far, it seems to be just a legend. Still, it can keep me up sometimes. I wanna say that her appearance is Japanese schoolgirl clothes and she has no lower half but has her upper half. I think that's what she looks like. I might be wrong. No. You're right. A girl in Japan who fell onto train tracks. No one helped her get off the tracks. And she was split in half. She came back as a yokai in the form of her own bloody upper half. She crawls quickly on her hands and, using her claw-like nails, grants others a fate similar to her own. The sound of her crawling is what gives her the name Teak Teak. Only when I'm out on research trips by myself. The Pukwudgie. I once heard a story about a Pukwudgie trying to goad a man into the woods. And it freaks me out that I'll hear their creepy little voices calling to me while I'm in my tent. Watched a video of Japanese urban legends and it tells of a ghost that lives in the crevices of your home, and if you ever see her she'll want to play hide and seek. If she catches you she'll take you to hell. And the elevator ritual myths freak me out whenever I'm in a building, lol. It's not an urban legend because it actually happens, but still sends shivers up my spine every time. I forgot his name, but a man was exposed to lethal amounts of radiation in a really short amount of time. He was immediately hospitalized and doctors took this as a time to do research on radiation. After a few weeks, his chromosomes began to mutate. This stored all his genetic info, so this led to a cluster heap of bad things. His cells couldn't reproduce properly to keep his body functioning, so his organs began to fail. His skin began to peel from his flesh. By day 60, bone was visible because the skin was falling off the bone. On day 83, his heart stopped 3 times in one day. The doctors kept him alive. His body was just trying to die. He was yelling for his mother and begging them to stop. On day 84, when his heart stopped, they didn't revive him and he died. Some scary speep. I play Fallout and when I see the ghouls in the game, all I think of is this story and just damn. I've got one that is super creepy. A little girl hears a bump in the night and calls out to the family dog to come lick her hand, which it does. In the morning she wakes up and goes to the bathroom. There she sees the family dog hung by its collar on the shower head. And written in blood on the tub wall is "Humans can lick too." I read it in a book called The Big Book of Urban Legends. It's a graphic novel with 40 stories, all by different artists. The cock. It's part chicken, part hawk. Legend has it that males who chronically masturbate will be visited by the beast and have their wieners stolen in the middle of the night and later sold to merchants. This is where the phrase hawk comes from when referring to selling things to pawn shops. Hakashakusama. Also known as the 8-foot-tall lady. Thulhu. Something about it is just so terrifying. I can't even look at pictures of it without questioning my existence. The elevator to another dimension. Can't remember where I saw it, but it goes like if you enter any elevator and visit a number of floors in a specific order, it will eventually take you to a floor that is a passageway to another dimension. If you get the order wrong, it may not work, or worse, leave you stuck in that dimension. Kinda tempted to try it out at one point in my life but never did. Russian sleep experiment. Bloody Mary. I always think I will see her in my bathroom mirror during the night, even if I don't say her name 3 times. Richard Ramirez would walk away from a house if the door was locked. He said if it was locked and there were no open windows, he took it as a sign from God not to kill him. But if it was unlocked, he took it as a sign God wanted them dead. I lock my doors every night. There's an old pioneer cemetery in Armadale, and every night at midnight there's rumored to be a horseman holding his own head. He's been nicknamed the Headless Horseman of Kenwick, rather creatively. The expressionless woman always got me. Skinwalker Ranch. This was something I was told about by my mom's friends who's super into witchy speep, and I am too. We were up late while around a campfire and I asked about some spooky stories when she started telling me about this ranch that was closed off by the government. There's one part about it all that sticks with me though. When the ranch was in operation, they had a lot of cows, of course. One made a sound of distress, and when they went to see what was wrong, all that was left was bones and skin. No organs. Not a drop of blood. Just the skin and bones of a cow. I'm pretty sure there are pictures and a documentary out there, but I've been too shaken up to look them up for myself.